Okay, then. Hello, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Subhashini, Bhimrao, sir. Good evening, Nanda. Good evening, Ganesh. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. How are you all? Good evening, and welcome to day 4 of this Mastering DOM Manipulation series. And I hope you're enjoying the whole series and the whole course so far, because we have learned quite a lot of things till now. And today, again, we are on a new day where we'll be learning a lot of new things. Okay? So good evening once again, guys. Good evening and welcome on the stream. Good evening. How are you all? I'm good. Subhashini, how are you? Good evening, Bishan. Good evening, buddy. So yep, guys. Good evening once again. And so now, so far, we have done a lot of things related to DOM manipulation, right? We have done selecting elements, we have done manipulating CSS, manipulating attributes, generating real DOM elements, looping them, applying events, right? We have also done adding events. Yesterday, we saw how to create model, right? Now today, once again, we'll be learning something new, okay? So today is the day where we'll be learning about timer functions in JavaScript. One of the most important things to learn, because it comes in handy whenever you deal with animations or whenever you want to do some task based on timing or timer. So today we're going to be learning timing functions or timers. You can say timers or timer functions, whatever you'd like to call them. And after that, using all the things that we have learned so far, we'll be creating a carousel, which is almost part of every website that you see. A carousel is a part of almost every website that you visit. That's why it's such an important thing to learn. It makes your website look much more better. So that's what we're going to be creating today, but after learning timers. Okay. Good evening, Utpal. Good evening. How are you, buddy? Good evening. Okay. So guys, I hope everything is fine till now and all good. And let's go. Let's start with today's stream, everyone. So as always we do, we're going to create a new folder and I'm going to be calling it as day 4. Okay. First I'll do the basic setup and after that we'll be starting with today's topic. So let's quickly go ahead, create a new file. Again, same index.html for day 4 and one scripting file. So new file. Good morning, Devi Prasad. Is it morning where you live? Is it morning there? Good evening, Nand. Good evening, buddy. JS, okay, let's do the quick setup and also let me close this command prompt. We don't need it. Yep. Now that's nice. And let's call it as timer functions, something like that. Okay. And script setting as well. So script. Okay, we are not writing JS here. We'll be writing it on a separate page. So src./script.js. Okay. So guys, the whole setup is done. Everything's fine, and let's also run this web page quickly. So copy the path. Let's go on a browser window quickly. So here we go. Okay, all cool, all good. And let's also open the console. So now the basic setup is done and we are ready. Okay, so guys, the first topic that we are focusing on today is what we call as timers, or sometimes we also call them as timing functions. So what exactly is this timer or timing function in JavaScript? And guys, see, this concept is almost there in every programming language. when you go to Java, and if you're developing applications using Java, there also you have timers. If you go to Kotlin, there also you have timers. So almost in every language, this concept of timers or timing functions is there. So just like that, in JavaScript also, guys, we have something called as timers or timing functions. Now, the important thing here is to understand what exactly they do. Okay, so see, guys, now we create functions, right? We create functions and we call them whenever we want. We call them literally whenever we want. In our programming language, in our whole program, wherever I want, I can call my function. Or sometimes I also use functions as event listeners. I call the function when I click somewhere. I call the function when I hover somewhere. I call the function when I move my mouse. So I create function. Now in this case, function is nothing but a task. So I can perform a task whenever I want by calling it, or I perform a task when I perform an event somewhere on my web page. Click, double click, scroll, hover. Now sometimes you want to perform your task based on timing. For example, okay, this is a task. I want this task to be performed after 5 seconds of my page load. I want this task to be performed after 10 seconds when I click on this button. So sometimes you want to perform a particular functionality or a particular task after some time, based on some time, after 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So that's where these timing functions come in handy. They help you to perform a task based on timing. Is that clear, guys? That's the basic definition. That's all. They help you to set up a timer so that that function knows, oh, I have to get called after 10 seconds. I have to get called after 20 seconds. Or I have to get called when someone clicked here and I have to wait for 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So all these timers help you to perform your task after a certain period of time. And that's what timers do, guys. Good evening, Naveen. Good evening. No issues, buddy. So guys, I hope the concept is clear. What exactly is a timer? Whenever you want to perform a functionality based on timing. If I have to give an example, now I don't know if it will work right now or not, but there's a really cool example. If you go to this site, Geeks for Geeks, right? Like something like that. Now, after you scroll here, after some time, like it always happens. I don't know it will happen right now or not. So see, suddenly this pop-up appears. So I was scrolling through the website and suddenly this pop-up appears. Okay. So that means this pop-up is set that whenever someone visits our website, after 5 seconds, this should appear. Is that clear, guys? Like a lot of times when you go on shopping websites, you're just visiting their site, surfing their site, and suddenly an ad pops up. So that's also a task getting performed based on timing. After 5 seconds, after user has come in the web page, after 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it is. Okay. Can we use this timers like daemons in Linux? Kind of, not exactly same like what you have there, but kind of, but at a very low level. Not exactly like you have daemons in Linux. That is quite a little different. It's high level. It is used to do some different kind of task. But yeah, it's kind of. You can say that. Okay, guys. So ready, everyone? Let's go ahead and let's try to understand how to work with them. Okay. So let's say this is one function. Okay. So let's get a function. Let's call it as some task. Right now, I don't care. Some task. Okay. And okay, the betting has started. Utpal and Naveen, the betting has started. No issues. And let's say this is my task. So console.log. Let's just say, hello, everyone. See, guys, right now it's a very simple task. Okay, nothing big. Just printing something on the console. But in future, it can be a DOM manipulation task. It can be any task, any kind of task. Okay, but fine. Right now, it's a very simple task. Now, see, it's a function. That means I can call it whenever I want. I can call it like this on the spot. So as soon as my page loads, this function will be called and I'll see the output. See that? But no, I don't want this. I want that once my page loads, after 10 seconds of the page load, this should be called. Or maybe after 5 seconds. 10 seconds will be too long to wait. So let's say 5 seconds. So for that, guys, there's a very simple timer that we can use, which you call as set timeout. Okay? Which we call as set timeout. It's a timer function which helps you to execute a task after a certain period of time, but only once. So in this, you can pass two parameters. The first is which function do you want to call. So I want to call this some task. And guys, please don't put this brackets, okay? Just this, some task. Comma, second is the time in milliseconds that you want this set timeout to wait for. So let's say I put 5000 milliseconds, and 5000 milliseconds simply means 5 seconds. So now as soon as the page loads, the executor of JavaScript understands, oh, here's a set timeout. So the timer starts. As soon as the page loads, this timer starts. And now it will wait for 5 seconds, and as soon as 5 seconds are done, it will call this function, some task. So let's see. Save it. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is that clear, guys? So now you can put whatever timing you want here. It's up to you. And guys, just like you put your function in add event listener, right? If at all you don't want to create your function separately, you can also create it here directly like this. Okay, so if needed, you can simply create it here like this. Now write whatever you want. So console.log some task, something like that. Okay, so I can also pass my function directly here. So either I create it separately and then I pass it in set timeout, or I directly create an anonymous function here. That's also fine. Both ways are fine. Just the way you do in add event listener. Same case. But the main thing is you're able to perform a task after some time. Is that clear, guys? Now, just to show you some idea, if we go to yesterday's example where we created this model, right? Yesterday we created this model logic, right? Let's run this file again. Okay. Now here, when I click on this open model button, then this model opens up, right? What if after my page loads, and let's say I'm surfing this website, after 5 seconds, that model should appear? Very simple. I'll go here and I'll write a set timeout, which will be of 5 seconds. That means 5000 milliseconds. And I'll pass a function here, which will be called or performed when the set timeout timer is done. And I want this code to be executed. That is of showing the model. So you see, guys, yesterday we were calling this code of showing the model when I clicked on the open model button. But now I'm calling that logic of showing model as soon as 5 seconds are done. So now this set timeout will do that. See, refresh. Now let's say I'm just surfing my website and all that, doing all that stuff, and suddenly model should appear. Here we go. See that, guys? So that's how this adds logic works on different websites. Is that clear, guys? But remember, set timeout only gets called once. So that's it. It's gone. It's done now. Forever. Now it will be only called when you refresh your page again. Because right now, you wrote your set timeout directly. So it is getting called as soon as the page loads. But you can also pass it in a function inside an event. So let me show you that. But before that, guys, are we cleared, everyone? Are we cleared with the basic understanding of set timeout? Can you please confirm that? Hopefully it is easy, not very tricky, right? Hopefully. Okay. Now see, guys, right now or till now, I was writing my set timeout directly outside. Okay. So it was getting called as soon as my page was loading. But now, if needed, I can go here. Let's say I create a button. Let's say start or something like that. Or let's say, click for now, just a dummy button, click. Let's give it an ID so that, we can add an event. So ID BTN, something like that. Now let's add an event on this button quickly. So let's remove all this. Let's add an event. So document dot get element by ID BTN dot add event listener. Okay, I'll be passing the function directly here. Okay, first is not the function. First is what kind of event it is. So event is click, and this function should be called. Okay, simple. Now, what do I want to do when I click on that button? So as soon as I click on that button, I want this set timeout to be called. This timer should start. As soon as I click on this button, this timer should start. And after 5 seconds, when the timer is done, after 5 seconds, this function should be called. So what I'm trying to show you is a set timeout can also be inside a function. Oh, my image is stopped. Wait. I think, yeah, I can see it now. Wait, something happened. what happened. Guys, let me just, make it a little, like, I'll quickly solve it. Just wait for a minute. Yep. Okay. Now am I audible, guys? Am I audible now? Am I audible now, everyone? Can you please confirm that quickly? Okay. Okay. I'm really sorry. I don't know, something happened to the stream, so I had to remove that video capture, and I just had to add a new video capture. Okay, so now I really hope it's fine. And guys, right now I don't have the time to do all that setting, so I'll do it afterwards, after the lecture. But I hope, so for some time you have to deal with this background, and I hope that's fine for now, guys. Really sorry for that. Really sorry for that. Okay. Cool. Let's start then. Okay. So yeah. So guys, now we were on this. So that was initially we were creating our set timeout directly outside. So that set timeout was getting executed as soon as the page was loading. Now I'm putting my set timeout inside a function which will be called when we click on the button. That means this timer will only start as soon as I click on the button. So now let's say we put something like, console.log some task. Now let me ask you a question, guys. Let me ask you a question. Now, if I go here and if I run my web page now, what do you think? Is my timer started? If I refresh my page, is my timer started? Guys, is my set timeout started? Can you please confirm that quickly? Let's see if you can answer it. No, right? Exactly. It will not start because first of all, this function needs to be called. And this will be called when I click on the button. Exactly. That is really great. Really amazing, guys. So now, as soon as I click on this button, that function is called and set timeout has started. Now it will wait for 5 seconds because it's a timer. It will, and after that, it will simply put some task. But the best part is now that set timeout is inside a function. So I can click on the button again and a new timer will start. And now, after some time, I should get my sum task once again. Here we go. So now that means I can continuously click on this button and every time I will start a new timer, right? Every timer set timeout will start. So guys, I really hope that we are cleared with this set timeout. Now, sometimes we also want to stop the timer, right? Sometimes we also want to stop the timer. So is there any way by which I can stop the set timeout? So yes, there is a way. But for that, what you need to do is you have to store this set timeout in a variable. Then only it's possible. So let's do one thing. Let me call this button at start timeout. And let me create one more button just to give an example, guys. Stop timeout, something like that. Stop timeout, something like that. And let's call this at start btn. And let's call this at stop btn, something like that. Okay, cool. And now let's also add a function on this button, stop btn. So document, okay, dot get element by id, stop btn. And yes, don't forget to change here as well. It should be start btn now because we have changed the id. And now here, guys, add event listener. Same logic on click. I want to call a function. Now, what do I want to do? I want to stop this timer. But guys, I cannot use this exact same timer here again, right? So if I want to stop this timer, what I have to do is I have to some way store this timer in a variable. So while creating the timer, if you store it in a variable, like let's say we call it as timer, so that will be enough if you just store it in a variable. But you tell me, can I use this variable in here? Is it possible to use this variable in this particular functionality? No, because whatever variable you create using let is block scoped. So this variable here is block scoped. That means this variable here is only accessible in this much context, in this much area. So what I have to do is I have to create this variable outside globally. Let's say initially we initialize it with null. So initially it is null. Leave it, it's fine, null. But when someone clicks on this button, to the same variable, I give it this timer. So guys, it's just I created a variable outside every function so that it can be used globally. But initially it is null, it's not having anything. But as soon as someone clicks on start button, in that variable I store my timer, which will basically start, and after 5 seconds, it will call this function. Now, even if I use var, Ganesh, even if I use var here, it's still not possible because var is function scoped and this is a function. So var will be also not possible to use outside. Is that clear, Ganesh? So even if you go for var, it's not possible. The only solution here is to create it outside globally, no matter what you want to use, var or let. Okay. So guys, and I would suggest you guys to not use var, always go for let. Can you stop timer permanently once shown for a user so he never have? Yes, we can do that. Why not? You have to just write some logic, but yeah, we can do that. Why not? So now guys, see, now as soon as someone clicks on start, this timer will start and it will be stored in this variable. Now if I want to stop it, I can go ahead and use a function called as clear timeout and pass that timer variable in here, which is nothing but storing this timeout function. And that's it, guys. Clear timeout is the function which is used to stop a timeout. Now see, if I click on this button, start timeout, the timer starts and after 5 seconds it will print. You'll see that. Here we go. Now let me refresh the page again. Now let's say I click on start timeout, the timer has started, but I stop it. Now it will never print because that timer has stopped. So let's say it ran for 2 seconds, 1, 2, but I clicked on stop. So that timer was cleared. And now it will no longer execute. And that's why, see, we can't see the output anymore. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone understood? So start timeout will start that timer. And as soon as I click on this, it has stopped already. It has now stopped. Is that cleared, everyone? I really hope that you have understood. And that's why you can see there is no output now here. Okay. So we stopped it before it completed, because its job was to wait for 5 seconds and then call this function. And at the time it was waiting for 5 seconds, I said clear it, just remove that timer, and that's gone then. It's no longer there. So it was running, it was ticking 1, 2, and I said no, clear. So it's gone after 1, 2. It's no longer there. So guys, that's how set timeout works, and it is basically used to display something on the web page, or do something on the web page once after a certain amount of time. Okay. So guys, remember that set timeout is used for if you want to do something only once after a certain amount of time. But now here comes one more timer function which helps you to do something more than once, continuously, as long as you want it to do. So guys, the next timer function that we have here is what you call as set interval, which is exactly like set timeout. It has exactly same parameters. First, give it the function that you want to execute. So let's say console. First of all, let me show you this. And second, give it the timing. So let's say again 5 seconds, or in this case, let me put 3 seconds. And now your task. So console.log some task. Now you'll see the difference, everyone. See. So now, if I execute, it has started. After 3 seconds, it will print some task. Now the best part, it never stops. Again after 3 seconds, it will print. Again after 3 seconds, it will print. Again after 3 seconds, it will print. And it will go infinitely. Infinite. It is infinite, guys. Set interval is infinite. If you want to stop it, then you have a function called as, the counter function is clear interval if you want to use it. This is the function. Exactly, Nanda, like a loop. It is like a loop, but the best part is, in loop, you cannot give timing. It's exactly like a loop, guys. Set interval is exactly like a loop, but the only difference is, in a loop, you cannot give timing that you have to get executed after 3 seconds or after 4 seconds or after 5 seconds. Set interval knows. So now, after every 3 seconds, it will call this function continuously, again and again, again and again. And if you want to stop it, you can store this whole thing in a variable and then use clear interval. And that will be it. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone? So, for example, if I have to give an example, you can do this, see. So, let's say I store it in a variable. Guys, please confirm me, is the idea cleared? The difference between set timeout and set interval. Set timeout is only called once after a certain time. In set interval, after a certain time, the function is called, and then again after a certain time. So after every 3 seconds, this function will be called. Now in this case, let's go ahead and let's store it in a variable. So let's call it as t. So now, guys, this whole set interval is stored inside t. Okay. Now, first of all, let's see if it is working. It's working. So you can see some task, some task, some task. It is working. All good. All is nice. Okay. Now, let's say after 10 times, or let's say after 5 times, I want to stop it. So guys, you need to count, right? 5 times you need to count. So for that, I can create a variable. Let count equals 1. Initially it's 1. Every time after set timeout, I do, so every time the interval counts, like moves ahead or ticks, I do count plus plus. And here I'm writing a logic if. It's like stopping a loop. This is like stopping a loop after 5 iterations. I'm stopping an interval after 5 iterations. So once count reaches, or I should write it at the top actually. Once count reaches 5, I want to use clear interval, and in that I'll pass the variable in which my set interval is stored. So I'll pass this t here like this, and that should be it. So now it's all good, guys. Let's see. So 1, 2, okay, 3 seconds, 3, 4, and I think it will stop at 4. Oh, 5. Fine, fine, 5. And I think done. Yes, now it's done. Now after 5 it will never move ahead because you said clear interval once count reaches 5. Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, I hope it's cleared. So guys, these were the two main timer functions that are available in JavaScript. Set timeout and set interval. One is used to call anything only once after a period of time. One is used to call something continuously again and again after a period of time. And guys, one more thing before we move ahead. We are very close to 1.5k subscribers, that is 1500 subscribers. We are almost, I think, 10 subscribers away. So if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and please don't forget to like the video. We are very close to 1500 subs, guys. So yeah, it will be amazing for me if we can complete that by today, only if it's possible. So also guys, please share the channel and the video to your friends and colleagues so that they can also join and learn. That will be like really helpful and that will really mean a lot to me. So yeah guys, let's go now. So guys, these were two timer functions. Now let's go ahead and let's use them to create something beautiful and good. Are we ready, guys? Everyone? Now you can use them in a variety of things, guys. You can use them in variety of things, but I have planned one thing where I want to show you how to use it. So guys, are we ready, everyone? Shall we move ahead? Let's create something like this. If I go to flipkart.com, you see this, right? This beautiful looking carousel. And I think Flipkart has changed their design now. You can see that, right? That old blue bar is gone. So they have updated their UI. And it looks nice. It looks much more professional now. It actually looks very clean, minimal, and professional now. I like their new design. See? So yep. New designer in the house, maybe, for Flipkart. And see, the design is looking very good now. Clean, minimal, good color combination. I like it. I really like it now. Initially, it used to have a lot of colors here and there, but now it's nice. So yeah, what I'm planning is I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you how to create something like this. Okay, because this is almost on all the web pages when you go on the website. So let's see how to create something like this. And you can see right here, it's also moving automatically. That means there is some kind of timer behind it. That after 3 seconds or 4 seconds, move it. After 3 seconds, move it. So this is also based on a timer. And I'm going to be showing you how to create something like this. Is that clear, everyone? Let's go. So for that, guys, I'll keep this file as it is. And I'm going to be creating a new file here now. So let's go. So new file. And I'll call it as carousel.html. And one more file. And guys, please focus. Because again, in this, JS will be not that a big deal. JS will be very easy. The big deal here will be the setup. Okay, so focus on the setup. Once you understand the setup, after that the whole thing is very easy. The important thing here is the setup. Okay, so carousel.js. So let's do the basic boilerplate setup first. Carousel and /carousel.js. Okay, quickly. Now then, first of all, let's set up the whole HTML and CSS quickly. So let's run this web page quickly first. So copy the path. Let's run it here. Okay, nice and simple for now. Now let's first of all create the design. Exactly, Ganesh, the banner. Exactly. Carousel. We call that moving thing a carousel. But yeah, it acts as a banner of your web page. So yes, you can say that. Okay, so let's go, guys. First of all, I need a section or a div or whatever you want, guys. Up to you. So section. Let's give it a class of main. Let's apply some CSS to it. And I'm planning actually to create a separate file for CSS so that it doesn't get congested. So let's go. New file. Carousel.css. And let's link this as well. So you have to use a link tag for this. You don't use script tag for linking CSS. Don't forget that. Carousel.css. Okay, and the basic setup will be margin 0 pixel, padding 0 pixel, and box sizing border box. Okay, nice then. Let's go. All good. So first of all, I want some CSS on main, and main will have a width of 100%, exactly same as the body, and height of 100 VH, exactly same as the right now. For now, 100 VH. Okay, or you can also make it small, guys. It's up to you. So whatever you want, up to you guys. So let's actually not give it 100 VH. Let's give it around 500 pixels, something like that. Okay, and also give it some background color. So background color of red. Here we go. Okay, now then inside this I want one more div, which I'm gonna call as my banner. Okay, this is my main carousel area, so I'm calling it as banner. Up to you guys, whatever you want to call it. So dot banner will have a width of 70% and a height of 400 pixels, and for now background color of gray. So you can see it's here now. Now let's put it in center. To put it in center, guys, it's very simple. We can go to main and ask our main, that is the red div, to become a flex box. Once it becomes flex box, I can center its child elements easily by doing justify content center and align items center. So now here we go. Now guys, this is the place where I want my banner to be, and also I'm planning on to increase the size a little bit. So let's say I make it 700 and I make this as 600. Okay, so yeah, nice looking area where I can put my images now. Okay, simple as of now. Now then guys, let's move ahead. Now inside the banner, I need a really big div which will be 5 times the size of banner. So I want a child inside this, which I can call, let's say we call it as carousel. Now this is the main setup, guys. Here we have to focus a lot. I want this carousel div to be 5 times greater than the banner. Okay, so for that, I'll go to carousel and I'll ask it to have a width 5 times its parent. Okay, so height will be exactly same, but for now I'm giving it a little less so that you can see it. So let me give it 550 pixels, and I want it to have a width of 500%, because you know guys, if I give it 100%, it will be exactly same as its parent. Correct, guys? Whenever you give a width of 100%, it's always exactly same as parent, right? So we give it 500%. That means 5 times your parent, because remember guys, percentage is always relative. If you give anything as 100%, 100% means exactly same as parent. I'm taking exact same width as my parent, but 5x means 500%. So now here we go, and let's give it a color so that you can see it. So background color green, and now you can see that, right everyone? See, the gray parent is ending here. It is starting here and it's ending here only, but this green one is 5 times its parent. But don't worry, it's overflowing, and that's fine. We needed that right now. We need this big sheet. We actually need this big sheet. Okay, now let's quickly go ahead. So guys, I really hope that you have understood this now, everyone. Okay, hopefully. Now inside this, I need to create 5 more divs. So div, and I'm gonna call this as, let's say, slide. So this is my slide. Now I want one slide. First of all, let me work with one slide. So I'll go one slide. Let's go dot slide. Your width will be of 20%. That means I want you to be 20% of your parent, which is carousel. See guys, carousel's parent is banner. So to become 5 times the parent, we gave it 500%. But I want slide to be 20% of its parent. So 20% of the carousel. Because if I give it 100%, it will be exactly same as carousel. Let me show you. Width of 100%, height let's say 300 pixel, and background color yellow. See guys, remember the concept. Remember the main mantra, everyone. If you give width 100%, it will be always same as parent. No matter parent is this much or this much, I will be always same as parent. So if I give this slide a width of 100%, it will take the exact same width of carousel. See that? It is taking exact same width of carousel, and I don't want that. I want the slide to be smaller. So exactly. So here I'll give only 20%. Because for slide, see, even though carousel is 500%, for slide, as I said guys, for me, my parent is always 100%. So for slide, no matter what is the width of carousel, for slide, it's 100%. So I want you to be 20% of your parent. So you'll have this much width. See that everyone? 20%. Is that clear guys? 1 by 5 of your parent. 1 divided by 5 of your parent. Okay? Nice. Now I want more slides like this. So first of all, let me put some text in here like 1. You know, so that you can see it. So font size of 100 pixel. Okay, 1. Now I want to give it exact same height as parent. So I'm going to give it 100% height. Okay, something like this. Now everyone, I need 5 slides in total, because that's the reason I have given it 500%, because I want 5 slides of 20%. But now the problem will be, because they are block elements, they will go one below each other, right everyone? See that? But I want them side by side. So what I can do is, I can go to this carousel and I can ask it to become a flex box. And as soon as it becomes a flex box, all of them go side by side. Is that clear guys, everyone? Understood the concept? Understood the whole setup here? Everyone, have we understood this whole setup? Yes or no? Quickly tell me. Nice. Now, put any content you want. Up to you. Image, text, whatever you want. Inside a single slide, guys, now you put whatever you want. Slide becomes the same size of carousel. Exactly. Because see, carousel is 5 times its parent. And carousel's child is 1 by 5 of its carousel. That means it will be exactly same as parent, right? If I am 5 times something, and if it's something is 1.5 times me, that means that thing and my parent is same, right? Getting my point? If I am 5 times 1, I am 5. And if something is 1 by 5, that is also 1. So 1 and 1. Getting the point, Naveen? Is this, guys, I don't know, and I don't like, I am not good at speaking maths, but I hope you're getting my point here, everyone. Okay? See, 1 multiplied by 5 will give you 5, right? So basically, carousel is 5 times. So let's say if the parent is 1. If the parent is 1, carousel is 5. Now the child is 1 divided by that 5. Okay? So basically, this was something like, let's say 70%. But for child, I hope you're getting my point. The percentage works a little differently. Okay? So the main parent, which was your main, or I don't know what I called it, banner. So banner was 70%. So why don't you have parent doing the carousel? Because I want that parent to be there, because it's containing this area, right? The gray one is containing this area. It's up to me, like I can also ignore that. But I want that extra div to be there so that I can move the whole carousel easily. The whole carousel is one in a big container. So I just wanted that extra container to be there, because it's helping me move it in center. Right, Naveen? So guys, just for the calculation, banner is 70%, but that's fine. That depends on its own parent. Now inside banner, I have carousel. But now if I give carousel 100%, it will be exactly same as banner. Because guys, see, for me, my parent's width doesn't matter. If you give me 100%, I'll be exactly same as parent. So for carousel, banner's width doesn't matter. For carousel, banner is 100%. So if I give 100% to carousel, it will be exactly same as banner. That's why I give it 500%. So it becomes 5 times the banner. But now, inside carousel, I have a slide. And if I give slide 100%, it will take the whole 500% width. Because for slide, carousel is its parent, full 100%. Doesn't matter what your width is. 500,000 pixels, 5 lakh pixels, I don't care. For me, you're my 100%. So that's why we gave it 20%. Okay? Is that clear, everyone? I hope you understood the whole concept. I know you have understood it, but just, I'm also very bad at speaking math sometimes. So yeah. right, in pixel. If we deal it in pixel, then we have to do a lot of calculations, Utpal. If we go for pixels, then you have to do ton of calculations. And every time we change the width of the devices, I have to again and again write a different calculation. Getting my point? That is the reason we deal with percentages in this case. So guys, I hope we are cleared with this setup, everyone. Okay? Exactly. PX will be complicated. It will be a lot of calculation. Now guys, put whatever you want in here. Image and all. So let's go to pixels and let's get some images. So guys, I hope that everyone understood the concept here or not about those width. And again guys, that is the CSS concept. So if at all you want, to understand CSS in a much more better way and about these percentages and everything, I would suggest you before this course streaming, before this course, I took one more course for CSS mastery. So you can also go to that course. There I've explained this percentage and pixels and all that in much more detail. How do you get chats even when I delete it? It's basically I see it and after that you delete it. I don't know how, but it gets a little delayed maybe. So yeah, no issues. I'm not hacking it, don't worry. So guys, let's search for nature here. Okay, and let's get some good images from here. So only horizontal because our slider is also like an horizontal div. So let's take horizontal images from here. So now guys, up to you. You can take whatever you want. Yes, I can see it. Yes, I can see your charts. So let's take this one. Looks very nice, right? So not gonna download it. Just copy image address, and let's put this image in here. So img. Let's give it a class quickly as slide-img, and let's give it a alt as well as slide-img. Doesn't matter for now what is alt, and let's paste it 5 times quickly, twice. So I want to put 5 images here. Okay. Now this is the first image I want. So copy image address, and here we go. Now I know it's going to be a very big image, so we need to adjust that as well. You can see it's a very it's fine actually, not that big. It's fine. So let's quickly adjust it, guys. Let's first adjust it. So let's apply some CSS to this image now. So let's go. .slide-img. I want you to have a width of exactly same as parent, so that is 100%. Exactly same as the slide. So here we go. But now we can see there is some extra part coming down. Okay, but that extra part is actually my main part because I want this ground to be seen. Okay, so there are 2-3 things we can do about it. One is we can reduce the size of all that stuff, okay, of the carousel, the whole thing, so that we can adjust this image properly. Or we can actually crop these images a little bit, but that won't look good. So what we can do, see guys, in tech right now we are literally downloading anything, okay, but in reality when you work for a client, they give you proper sized images. Right now we don't have proper sized images. That's why we have to do a little more hard work here. Today I completed a mini project on Netflix that I learned from your class. It was very helpful. Oh, that's great, Ganesh. That's great. Congrats, buddy. Congrats. And thank you so much for joining. Yep. So guys, right now we have to deal with this only. No option. Let's adjust this image quickly. So let's just move it a little upside. So for that we can use margin top minus 200 pixel. So here we go. Okay. And now we can hide whatever is extra for this image. So we can go to its parent, because you can see, right, it's bigger than the slide. So it's coming outside the slide. So I can ask slide that whatever image part overflows from you, keep it hidden. And now it is only this much that is visible. Is that clear, guys? And also now let's go ahead and increase the size of carousel exactly same as parent, which is 600 pixels. I intentionally put 550 so that you can see this extra part down here. But now you have understood it, so it's fine. Okay. So the first image is here, guys. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, you can also take some better images here, but that's fine for now. And also let's remove this red. That is making it look very bad. Yeah. Nice. Good enough. So for now it's fine. Object fill, it's like whenever you have an image and you want to fill it completely in your in that area, then you can use object fill. In here also I can apply it, but I don't want to do that because the ratio is a little different. And for every image, the ratio will be different. That's why I'm going with some normal images in this case. Okay, let's take this one as a second image and put it here. Okay, you can see now you have the second image as well. Okay, now let's quickly go and put the third image as well. Let's take this one, third image. Let's take this one. Now guys, while working, you can actually, research on images and get proper sized images. In this case, I'm avoiding that, okay? I hope you understand. That's why I'm not getting those high quality images, but that's fine. In reality, you will actually get high quality images. You can download them and use them, okay? I hope you're getting my point, everyone. Okay. So now guys, we have all the 5 images in here. You can see that. All 5 images. Actually, this first one is not that good. Let me replace this first one with some good images here. Yeah, this would be nice. Okay. So now guys, we have all the 5 images in here. It will preserve the original aspect ratio. So I don't have to, you're saying that I don't have to deal. See, then it will also crop something, right? Because if my ratio of my div and ratio of my image is not matching, so it will cover the whole thing, but still some part will be outside, right? Because in that case, ratio should also match. Correct, Naveen? Like in this case, my parents ratio and my images ratio is not matching because images have a little bigger height than what I intentionally created the divs for. Okay, so yeah, in that case it's fine. For now it's fine. So guys, now we have 5 images, and just to show you a little bit, let me increase the size of the banner so that you can see that banner is still there. So I'll go here and I'll just ask banner to be 650 pixels so that you can, yeah, so you can see that banner is still this much only. Is that clear, guys? Now the main technique, everyone please focus. Now here's the main thing. See, everyone, now this is my banner, and inside, so guys, the process is like this. See, if I go on Jamboard, if you use background size cover, see, background size cover is only applicable, Devi Prasad, if you're giving image using background image. Right now we're using image tags, so we can't use background size. Okay, so guys, see, the process that we have here is like this. We have a main banner. Okay, inside that we have a long sheet of carousel. So let me create it separately, guys. Let me create it separately. You have one banner, and inside that you have a long sheet of carousel. Okay, and inside that you have, guys, different slides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the visible area is only this much. The banner size, this size. That is what I want to be my visible area. Is that clear, guys? Now see what's going to happen. See, if I go ahead to the carousel and if I give margin left of, by default it's 0. So even if I give 0 to it, see, nothing happens. All same. Because by default margin left is 0. Now here's the main deal. If I go to carousel and if I give it margin left, since it's 500%, so if I give it minus 100%, see, I can see the second image. Basically it moves. It moved here. Is that clear, guys? That means if my margin left is minus 100%, so let me note it down. If my margin left is minus 100%, so on 0, I can see the first image. On minus 100%, I can see the second image properly, right? In my main frame. Right, guys, everyone? Can we say that I can see it in my main frame? Why I'm calling it as main frame? Because I can see my banner is behind. And now it's coming exactly into the center of my banner. So I can consider it as my main frame. Is that clear, guys? See, guys, it's nothing. It's simply movement. But I'm just trying to tell you that I'm considering banner, the main div, the gray div as my main frame. So if I do minus 100%, I can say the second image is in my main frame because the movement has happened. That means if I do minus 200%, I'll get my third image. Let's see that if it's happening. Yup, exactly. That means, guys, this is the concept. If I go minus 400, I'll see the next image. Minus 500, next image. Minus 600, next image. That means every time I do minus 100, I'll see second image. Minus 200, third image. Minus 300, fourth image. Like that. Second image is the first image shown to the user, right? No, Naveen, no. First image is the first image shown to the user. First image will be the first image shown to the user. Okay, see, if I just go ahead and do nothing here, that means it's 0. So first image, it's fine. Okay, so I want this to be the first image. I want this to be the first image only. As of now, I want this to be the first image. That concept will come in some other carousel. But as of now, I want this to be my first image. Okay, so guys, margin left 0. I see my first image. Minus 100, I'll see my second image. Minus 200, I'll see my third image. Minus 300, I'll see my fourth image. Remember this sequence. Okay, everyone? Cool. Now, here's the main deal. Now we'll go in JavaScript and we will write a set interval function. And I'll create a variable. I'm going to call it as, let's say, ML, which stands for margin left. You can call it anything, guys. I'm calling it as ML. Initially, it will be 100. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? Initially, I want it to be 100. Now set interval, I want a function to be called after every 3 seconds, or let's say, yeah, 3 seconds is fine. And inside that, what I want to actually do is, I want to basically manipulate CSS of this carousel. You saw that, right? I was manipulating CSS, but I was doing it in the CSS. Now I want to manipulate CSS using JavaScript. So I'll give that carousel ID of, let's say, carousel. Okay, everyone? And now here, document dot get element by ID carousel dot style dot margin left, same property, should be equal to ML, but ML is just a value. So I want that percentage and pixel to be there. But guys, ML is a variable and percentage I want to mention in string. So how do we concat string and variable, guys? Plus double quotes, and inside this, I can put percentage. But this will be ML percent, that is 100%. I want minus 100%. Is that clear, guys? So now what I'm saying is, I'm doing this exact same thing, everyone. So now this will become minus 100%. Margin left minus 100%. Is that clear, everyone, guys? So I'm doing this exact same thing using JavaScript. Let's see if it is working. So after 3 seconds, minus 100% should be there. See? Minus 100%. Is that clear, guys? But next time, I want it to go minus 200%. But how? How is it possible here? So what I can do is, as soon as I do minus 100%, as soon as you do minus 100%, increase the ML. So ML equals to ML plus 100. So ML was initially 100. So now ML equals to ML, which is 100 plus 100. So now new ML will be 200. So next time in set interval, it will be minus 200. Next time, minus 300. Every time it will increment by 100 now. So now, see, minus 100, minus 200 after 3 seconds, minus 300 after some time, minus 400. Is that clear? And minus 500. It will go on now because I have not created any stop idea. So it will go on, minus 600, minus 700. But guys, you got the idea, everyone? Have you got this idea here or not? Please confirm that quickly. Have you got the idea? Okay. Guys, please confirm. So after every 3 seconds, it's moving minus 100%. So first, minus 100%. Then ML becomes 200. The next time, minus 200%. ML becomes 300. The next time, minus 300%. ML becomes 400. And just like that, guys. It goes on and on and on. Okay. Now, The problem is you can see that it's happening like this. Click. Right, everyone? It's happening like this in clicks. So guys, see, I am manipulating CSS and it's happening in clicks. So you know, right, when you're manipulating CSS and if you want that CSS to be slow, you can do this. Document dot get element by ID to the carousel. So you're doing something using CSS. So if you're doing something using CSS, you can also give it some timing by using what we have already learned in CSS, which you call as transition. So transition, I want the transition to be every time of 3 seconds. So now that movement of minus 100% or minus 200% will take 3 seconds to move as well. So first wait for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and now use 3 seconds to move. But I think it's quite slow. Let's ask it to have 2 seconds. So it will take 2 seconds to move. Is that clear, guys, everyone? Please tell me. Are we cleared with this? But for now, let's keep it exactly same, 3 seconds in this case. Is that clear, everyone? So now, after every 3 seconds, it moves, and the movement also takes 3 seconds. So guys, what's happening here? 1, 2, 3, wait, then take 3 seconds to move. Then again 1, 2, 3, wait, and then take 3 seconds to move. It's going like that now. I really hope the idea is kind of cleared here now, what we are planning here. Everyone, hopefully. Yes, don't worry, Utpal, we'll reach there. We'll also reach there. We'll reach there, don't worry. Right now, it's still the basic setup, right? Right now, we are still at the, very basic setup. That's why. So it's okay. It's okay for now. Okay? Good enough, good enough. Okay. Now, guys, first of all, there is one big problem that we have here is it's not stopping after end. So I don't want it to go like that. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to stop it. So I know what's going on. Once, see, I know, guys, when does the last image appear? See, I have only 5 images, right? I have only 5 images. So on minus 200%, I see third image. That means on minus 300, I see fourth image. That means on minus 400, I see my fifth image. That means if I have 5 images, minus 400 is my last limit. So what I'm going to say is, as soon as, so if ML becomes greater than 400, as soon as it becomes this, I want it to stop. So for now, you can simply say clear interval. For now, so let's clear the interval. Let's store this set time in this variable called as slider, something like that, the whole interval. And now let's stop it. So clear interval and pass that slider variable in this. So now at the last image, the slider should stop. Let's see that. So now let's see if it is getting stopped at the last. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and see, it stopped now. At the end, it has stopped. Is that cleared, guys, everyone? It has stopped at the end now. Yes, we need to do that. We will do that. We will do that. But for rotation, we need to do something. For that rotation, we need to do something. Now, guys, see, we don't want to stop. We want to make a logic where it continues. But guys, when it continues, I again want to start from the start, right? I want to make sure that it works like this. At the end, after the last image, I want this horse image to come back. Right? I want to loop it. But guys, that looping is not possible. Because let's say, I again come back to first image. So let's say, once I reach end, instead of stopping the slider, I go back to 0. So I do this. Document dot. Let's take it from here, guys. Let's say I go back to 0. Okay. And guys, I should normally write transition on top always. Okay. So let's say first of all I go back to 0. Let's see if it is working now. Let's see. And also if it goes back to 0, I also want my ML to go back to 100. Right, everyone? I also want my ML to go back to 100, right? Because the calculation will be going on and on then. I also want ML to reset. ML reset and slider reset. So slider goes back to 0% and ML resets to 100. Now let's see. Yes, don't worry, Devi Prasad. We'll also deal with that. We will also deal with that. No issues. We'll solve everything one by one. So after last image, it should go back to first image. Let's see if it is going there. Here we go. There is some problem here. There is some kind of problem. It's not going till the last image. You can see that, right? It's not going till the last image. You can see. From there, it is going to the first. It's because I have mentioned greater than 400. So let's do it like this. Here I'll put greater than 500 because I want the last image to appear. So now let's see. I want the last image to appear. But now guys, it's going back to first, but it's not looking that good. Because see, if I do this now, if I go to Carousel, you know, and let's say we go to our banner, and whatever is overflowing, we hide it. So overflow hidden. Now see, it will look like this. Focus guys, focus here. Now it will look like a proper slider, see. But you can see the problem, right? See the problem, everyone. After going back to last, I can see it going back to first. I can literally see it going back to first. I don't want that. I want to get that continue feeling. So how am I going to achieve that? That's very important. Because I don't want to see it going back. Okay. So how am I going to achieve that? So first of all, let's remove this overflow hidden so that we can see everything. Now guys, here's the main technique. Please focus. Guys, please focus. The main technique is we will go ahead and make our first and last image same. Always. This is the main technique, guys. This is the trick. This is the illusion. We'll make our first and last image same. So see, first image and now last image will be same. Focus. I'll tell you what I'm doing here. First and last image will be same. That's why after last image, it will go back to first. But now see guys, from last, when it goes back to first, I can see it going back. I don't want to see that going back logic. I don't want to see that going back transition. So what I'm going to do is, while it is moving normally, I want the transition. But when it is going back, at that time, I don't want transition. At that time, transition should be 0. See guys, because of this transition only, I get that feeling that it's going back. I'm saying, when it goes from last back to first, transition should be 0. So it will go so fast that you won't be able to notice. See now. See guys, please focus. Second. Okay, third, nice. Fourth, nice. Now from fifth, it will go back so fast, see, that you don't even notice. And now it will feel like it's continuing. The best part is now, see here, if I go ahead now, and you know, if I hide it again, overflow hidden. So guys, it's still same. It's just now, from last image, it goes so fast to the first image, because now we don't have any timing. I'm saying, from last image, go back to first image in 0 seconds. So it's so fast that we can't even notice. And that's why it looks like this, see. See that, everyone? And see, now it will feel like that it is continuing from there only. I know there are still some problems. We'll solve that. But I hope you're getting my point, right? Yes, we'll definitely comment that. We'll definitely comment that gray color, or we'll remove the height, extra height. But I really hope that you got the point. There are still some problems, guys. We need to solve that. But I hope you got a little bit of idea here. What's exactly going on inside the slider now. Right, everyone? Okay. Now, let's move ahead to the next concept. Not the next concept. Let's make it a little more better. Oh, now it happened. Wait. First to second, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth, and it's very slow actually, you know, while it's going back. So what I'm going to do is I'll say that only take 1.5 seconds to move, so that it will move at least fast like this. Now wait for 3 seconds and move. Wait for 3 seconds and move. Wait for 3 seconds and move. Right? Now it looks much more better. Right, guys? But can you see that the last image is waiting a little too much? Guys? Can you see that the last image is waiting a little too much there? Can you see that? Everyone. Now it's almost fine. It's almost good now. But the last image is waiting a little too much there. Or let's make it 1 second. Okay, now it will be fine. So wait for 3 seconds, then move. Wait for 3 seconds, then move. Wait for 3 seconds, then move. 3 seconds, then move. And now from last, it goes back to first. Now, to understand what's going on actually, let's go ahead and let's again get that event. Sir, how we do pagination like on click of button previous link? That's also easy. It's kind of similar, but that's also easy. Don't worry. Now, guys, first of all, let's solve this, everyone. So here we go. Let's see first of all what's happening. Nice. Now it goes back to last. And see, guys, for the last image also, it's wait for 3 seconds. Because we are going from last to first, it stops 3 seconds for the last image, and then it again stops 3 seconds on the first image. That's why it takes a little more time. Exactly. The set interval timing is also waiting for the last image first, and then it's also waiting for the first image first. And that is the little problem that we have here. That's why the first image is taking a little more time. Because see, it's wait here, and then it goes to first and again waits. Because we know last and first are same, but for the code, they are two different images, right? Everyone. Guys, I hope it's getting cleared, everyone. Guys, please tell me. Now, there is a simple technique by which we can solve it. Want to see that, everyone? Shall we? I want to remove the waiting time of the last image. I want to remove the waiting time of the last image. I don't want this last image to wait this much. So, see what I can do here now. So, please focus, everyone. I'm going to say, as soon as last image starts to appear, so greater than 400, because at 400 I know that the last image starts to appear. So as soon as it becomes greater than 400, now guys, tell me first logic, how much time it takes to go from 4th image to 5th image? 1 second. Correct, guys? Everyone, it takes 1 second to go from one image to other image. That means from going from 4th to 5th, it takes exactly 1 second. Right, everyone? Correct. Now the main logic. As soon as ML becomes greater than 400, that means as soon as I start opening the last image, what I want is, now see guys, first of all, let's see what's going on with 400 here. Let's see. See, okay, nice. 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 Now see, it's going from here only, it's going to the first image. And I want something like this. But I still want to see that last image movement. So see the technique, guys. As soon as it hits greater than 400, this code should not start directly. I want this code to run. Guys, please focus, everyone. Please focus. I'm saying, as soon as my ML goes greater than 400, this should happen. That's why we can't see the last image anymore. Because as soon as ML becomes greater than 400, it goes to the first image. So I am not getting that duration to view my last image. It should technically go there. But because I also have a if condition, it's directly taking me to first image. So at 400, it should show me last image. But as soon as my movement should start happening, at the same time, this code is also getting executed. And that's why I'm going back to the first image. So now what I can do here is, I can say this code should execute after a timeout of 1 second. And now I'll take this whole code of resetting the thing. and I'll put it in this set timeout. So now what will happen, guys? See, everyone, as soon as ML becomes greater than 400, see guys, that means if ML is 400, that last image will start appearing. Last image will start appearing. Because it takes 1 second, I have given a set timeout of 1 second. So this code should be called after 1 second. And by that time, guys, this would have appeared, because last image will take 1 second to appear. And by that time, set timeout will also finish. Because see guys, the execution of last image appearance and the execution of this code is exactly at same time. That is why as soon as my last image starts appearing, I'm going to first image, and I can't see the last image properly. That's why I'm saying as soon as the last image starts appearing, let it take its 1 second. And I'm also saying this code should also wait for 1 second. So last image will appear completely, and as soon as it has appeared, it has taken its 1 second, this will also execute. And that's why you will still see the last image, but as soon as the last image is completed its appearance, I'll go to first. I will not wait anymore. See here. Exactly at the same time, see. So now it takes 1 second to appear, and on the spot I go. Now last image is not waiting anymore. Understood the technique, guys? Exactly. So guys, the idea is if I don't put set timeout here, what was happening, you know? See, what was happening? See, this code and the last image appearing code was happening at the exact same time. Remember guys, this if code and the last image appearing code is happening at the exact same time. That's why, see, once it reaches to the last image, see, second image, third image, fourth image, now it wants to go back to the last image, but at the same time that code executes and we go back to 0. That means going to the last image and going to the first image, that code is getting executed at one time only. That's why I'm going to the first image. Is that clear, everyone? So that what I'm trying to say is going to the last image and going to the first image, both of the codes are written at the exact same time. Both of the code are getting executed at the exact same time. And that's why I'm going to the first image. So what I said is, I want to go to the first image, but only after 1 second. And why 1 second? Because last image appearance will take 1 second. So let the last image appear and then go back to first image. That's why I let this code wait for 1 second. So you wait for 1 second. Let the last image appear. And on the spot, I'll go to the first image. So now that waiting time has been cut. And that's why it looks perfect. Okay. Now the best part, guys, the best part is, go ahead, remove this overflow hidden. And here we go. So today is my first class, sir. When class will be started? It will continue, Ram Parvesh. So tomorrow also it will exactly start at 6 o'clock. It will start at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll be talking about window and scroll objects in JavaScript. Okay, so today was timer functions. And you can also watch the previous lessons that we have learned from last 4 days. From last 3 days, from Monday only. We have learned all about DOM manipulation, selecting elements, manipulating CSS, manipulating attributes. Today we learned about timer. Tomorrow again it will be at 6 p.m. Ram Parvesh. So you're more than welcome to join. And also you can tell your college friends if you're in college, and colleagues if you're working. You can also tell them to come to the channel, watch these videos. Okay? Yes, Naveen, definitely. Tomorrow I'll talk about pagination. So guys, are we cleared with this basic idea of carousel? Can we change that particular last image by giving ID and change the CSS duration? Yes, that's also possible, Devi Prasad. But I think that will become a little more tedious, right? It will take a little more time, a little more code to write. So I think this can be a little better way. So guys, are we cleared with this whole thing, everyone? Is it good practice to use set timeout inside? For 1 or 2 things, I would say that it's fine, because they are useful like that, because this set timeout only gets called once. But if you have multiple timers and if you're combining a lot of timers, then I won't say it's a good practice. But mostly you will never be on that place, because there are very less places where you put timers. So yeah, it's kind of fine. But set interval can also be replaced with one thing. There is one more thing in JavaScript called as request animation frame. Asif. So there is one more, we can replace set interval with request animation frame. So that's one replacement. And you can put set timeout inside that. That's also fine. But always putting multiple timers at one place, it's always a little, problematic. It may cause some problems depending on the browser's capacity to deal with the JavaScript engine, and also the kind of web page you're creating or the load of images. So it all depends on how you use it. Okay, but it's fine. It's not a bad practice. Depending on the needs, it was needed right now. I wanted to use the set timeout. So it's not a bad practice. If it is needed, it's not a bad practice in this case. So it's fine, Asif. Exactly, Naveen. And guys, see, the best part about creating your own carousels is we can do whatever we want with this carousel. We can also move it upwards, downwards, right side, and if we work a little more, we can also make it a little 3D and all that stuff. That's also possible. Okay, but guys, I hope that you got this whole idea of how this whole thing is working and how we used timer functions to create a carousel like this. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, all set? And also, Naveen, by pagination, do you mean pagination like 1, 2, 3, 4, or adding buttons in here and doing previous next? Do you mean something like that? Thank you so much, Subhashini. Thank you so much. So guys, now in tomorrow's session, so now you know how to make carousels, at least the most basic fundamental one. Now tomorrow, when we come back, we'll talk about one of the most important objects, which is the window object. Okay. And after talking about the window object, we'll talk about scrolling logics. And after scrolling, we'll move ahead and we'll try to add buttons, previous and next, in this carousel. But guys, if you want to understand that previous and next logic very well, I would suggest you to first sit today, tonight, or tomorrow morning and at least create this much. By rewatching the session, at least create this much. It's not very tough. Because if you don't create it, after 2-3 days, you'll again forget the logic. The reason I don't forget the logic, or the reason I am able to create this whenever I want, is because I have practiced it a lot when I was learning. So if you never want to forget this carousel logic or something like this, just sit and practice it once or twice at least. Is that clear, guys? Because JavaScript is all about practice, guys. Basic programming is fine. Even if you don't practice a lot, if you know basics, it's fine. But if you want to create these amazing things using the programming that you have learned, practice is going to be the most important thing. Now tomorrow, guys, the first thing that I'll teach you is window object, then the scrolling properties, how to deal with scrolling and window both, and then I'll show you how to add previous, next button in this same carousel and indicators as well. Sir, I know very well about HTML, CSS, Tailwind, JS. Sir, which framework I choose? Can you suggest me? Framework like front-end framework, Ram Parvesh? Are you talking about front-end framework? I would suggest you to start with React because it has an easier learning curve. So you can start with React, and if you also want to learn backend, then you can go with Node.js in that case. So I would suggest you to start with React. It is a little more easier to learn as compared to the other frameworks like Angular and Vue. And secondly, right now React is having that boom, everywhere it's needed, everywhere people want people who have the knowledge of React. So I would suggest you to start with React. And after that, you can go with backend as well. You can learn Express, Node, and all that stuff. And don't worry, I am also coming up with React. Just after finishing JS DOM manipulation, I will have 2 sessions, 2 live streams for asynchronous JavaScript. Okay, after this, and then I'll be directly going in Node.js. We'll be talking about Express.js, MongoDB, and all that stuff. And after that, there will be a complete React course. When I say complete, guys, it will be complete React course. Okay? And just like that, then Angular, then Vue. Then there is also something called as Bun.js, which is a really new JS runtime. Not a runtime, much more than that. So I'm also planning on, and it's very fresh, guys. It's just released now, maybe 1 month back. A very new JavaScript runtime, bundler, transpiler all together at once. So I'm also planning to do a live session on that. But I'm still also I'm also learning that as of now because it's very fresh and very new. So I'm also learning that. And once I finish it, then I'll be putting a live session for that as well. Yes, yes, Naveen, yes. Now, when I start, after finishing DOM manipulation, I'll be teaching you asynchronous JavaScript, where I'll be teaching you how to call APIs. And after doing that, after we have learned calling APIs, then we'll be moving on to Node.js, where I'll be teaching you how to create APIs. So don't worry, Naveen. That is the plan. I'll be also teaching you how to create APIs. Don't worry at all about that. Okay, and then React, then Bun, after I have completed learning, then Angular, then Vue, and just like that. Then after completing this, maybe we'll move to some other technology as well in app development, Flutter, React Native. We have a lot of things to cover. So no issues. So guys, please, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That will be helpful for me and that will help me a lot. For pagination, most common functionality used on website. Yes, no issues. Tomorrow, I'll definitely teach you pagination. And actually in 2 places. I'll teach you pagination here. I'll teach you how to add previous and next. And I'm planning for a day 6, guys. I'm also planning for a day 6 because I also want to teach you one more pagination. You have that, where you have multiple data and then you have that button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you go to the next page, load other 10 data, the next page, load the other 10 data. So I'm also planning to teach you something like that. So I'm planning for a day 6 of this. It was planned for day 5, but I'm planning for a day 6 as well. Okay. So guys, that will be it for today. Now tomorrow we'll add previous and next in this. And we'll learn about window and scroll. And on day 6, I'll be putting that live today. So day 6 will be on Saturday mostly, but don't worry, you'll be informed about that. And on day 6, we'll be talking about pagination of data as well. So you'll be So guys, once we are finished with day 6, you will be knowing more than enough to become a developer, a proper JavaScript developer, because you know basics of JavaScript. Now you also know DOM manipulation. Now after that, when I do asynchronous JavaScript, you'll be also knowing how to call APIs. So you'll be a proper front-end JS developer after completing this whole course. So yeah, I'm actually very excited for all that stuff. And guys, please, if you're new, do subscribe and please share the channel with your friends, college friends in your college groups, to your colleagues, so that it will be very helpful for me to grow a little, and also that will mean a lot to me as well. And by that way, I'll be able to teach more people. Okay. So yep, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much. All this code and this files will be available on GitHub. The GitHub link is in the description of the video. This whole thing will be available on GitHub just after 10 minutes. So yeah. Hi DigiWorld, how are you, buddy? How are you, DigiWorld? Good night, guys. Good night, Imaz. Good night, Naveen. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. DigiWorld, we are ending the session for today, but I hope to see you tomorrow as well. And welcome to the stream. But I think you joined very late, so no issues. You can you can join tomorrow. And we have already done with 4 sessions, so you can watch the recordings as well. So yep, guys, thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night. See you tomorrow. Have a great night, guys. Bye-bye.